So who out there loves a good fisheye lens? Well, if you're looking for a fisheye lens on a budget, and for the Micro Four Thirds system, this one might be for you. Today I'm talking to you about the TTARTISAN's 7.5mm f2.0 fisheye lens. And I'm gonna do a quick breakdown, an unboxing, show you some examples, and if this lens is right for you. So let's roll. What is up, everybody? My name is Steven of Steven and Janaka, and you know you've kind of hit a rite of passage when companies start to send you lenses to review on your channel. And so we're extremely grateful to the good folks at TTARTISANS for sending us our first lens to review on the channel and ultimately give away to you guys. So before I begin, I just want to make a quick disclaimer that I'm not paid by TTARTISANS to say anything about this lens. These are all my honest opinions and reviews on using this lens for the first time, and also if I can recommend it to put in your kit. So what is a fisheye lens? Well, a fisheye lens is a lens that renders a 150-degree angle of view to produce a distinct visual appeal, characterized by dramatic distortion and a creative depiction of space. Now, this helps to create a very wide angle of view, as well as a very innovative style at looking at your footage or your subject, because you'll often see a bit of a warping effect happening on the outside of the edges of your view, and that kind of creates that unique angled an approach at being able to set your focal subject when you're doing your shooting. This isn't for everybody, and it shouldn't be used in every single scenario. But if you're looking to capture that unique aspect of warp and distortion in your footage, then a fisheye lens is definitely something that you should think about picking up. So let's break down this little lens and talk to you about the key specifics and characteristics that you get. So this is a f2.0 to f11 fisheye lens, and it has two LD elements as well as three high index elements for both manual focus and a manual aperture. Now in this case, it's also a clickable aperture, which is something that's unique to me because most of my lenses that I've used don't have a clickable aperture. And trying it for the first time, it's kind of a bit of a welcome change. I'm not used to that kind of clicking effect to know I'm stopping down or stopping up. But in this case, it's kind of helpful, especially when I was shooting outdoors on my camera utilizing this lens for the first time. So one of the unique characteristics of this fisheye lens is that they also send you a little mini ND filter. And this little ND filter can screw in to the back of the iris mount right here. And you can screw in that little ND filter all the way up to ND 1000. So that's pretty impressive, and shooting outdoors, that gives you the option of having to stop all the way up to f11, but I think it's a nice little feature to have because you often don't get little built-in ND filters into your lenses when you receive them. So a nice little bonus from the people at TTARTISANS, and I really think it could be a good addition if you're shooting on a very bright day. Now with many lenses you often get a lens hood, and that's also detachable that you can put onto your lens to block out some light when you're shooting on a bright day. In this case, it's an integrated lens hood, so it's fully attached to the body of a lens, so you can't remove that. And that's something to consider when you're looking to do your shooting, because you don't have a full coverage over top of the surface of that lens, so you really should make good use of that ND 1000 or 10-stop filter when you attach the back of your lens to shoot on bright sunny days, as you're really going to need that because there's not a lot of surface coverage when you're shooting outside. So this lens has a 7-blade diaphragm, it's a well-built lens, it's got a bit of heft to it, and it's an all-metallic design, so there's a little bit of weight to this lens, so it feels good. You can tell that there is a nice smooth throw for the focusing, as well as for the clicking aperture here as well. But it's all metallic parts, both the back mount as well as the front part of the lens. So it's a nice, well-built lens. And price point, you're looking at about $185 Canadian on B&H, and so that's not a bad price for a fisheye lens of this low aperture as well as focal length for a Micro Four Thirds camera. So it's a good budget-conscious lens if you're looking to add something to your kit without breaking the bank. So enough of the details on this little lens, let's take a look at the lens in action. And a disclaimer again, I actually don't even own a Micro Four Thirds camera right now. However, I do own a Zcam E2 S6, and I picked up one of the interchangeable Micro Four Thirds mounts for this camera. So that's a big bonus if you're looking to pick up a cinema camera The Zcam E2S6 has the ability of being able to pop out that EF mount and you can put in a micro four thirds mount. And that's super helpful if I look to shoot on my Sarui anamorphics, for example, or even glass that I have as micro four thirds, because this allows you to adapt a whole host of different lenses without breaking the bank on a super 35mm sensor. Anyways, enough of the plug for Zcam. Let's take a look at this little lens and see what it can do. I shot this lens outside on a bright sunny day in Toronto. I didn't have any ND filter on this, and I forgot to put on the little 10 stop here, so this is totally stopped down to f11, but the results are not bad. So what do you guys think? That was all shot on the Zcam E2S6 with this little micro four thirds mount, as this is a super 35mm sensor. Now it's shot in ProRes 422 in 4K 60. I also didn't grade any of this image, it was all shot in Rec 709, so nothing fancy when it comes to coloring. In first impressions, it does have a fair bit of focus breathing, and it's not the sharpest lens when you're looking at having a minimum focus depth between the subject and the lens, but if you're shooting any kind of wide landscape style of videography or portrait photography, this little lens does do a fairly good job. Speaking of photography, I didn't try shooting photos with this, but I'm sure it could get some great results if you're looking to kind of capture photos with this lens on a micro four thirds camera. So bottom line, is it worth it to put this little lens in your kit? Well, I'd have to say that yes, for the budget and the price of 185 Canadian dollars, this lens definitely does tick off a lot of boxes. It's well built, it's a lens that gets a good result, and it's something that you can expect to receive that proper exaggerated look and that kind of surreal image when you're trying to think of a fisheye and a fisheye setup to your shot. So thanks again for watching, everybody, and please leave a comment if you shoot on fisheye lenses. I'd love to hear what your idea of the perfect fisheye is, and also if you have one in your kit. But if you're thinking of picking one up for the micro four thirds systems, this little TTARTISANs might be a great option to consider. And please hit that like and subscribe button so you can keep up to date on all the videos we have coming out, and we have a ton of gear videos that we're going to be reviewing and giving away to you. So until next time, think of shooting on a fisheye. It's a cool warped surreal effect, but it definitely packs a punch.